growing up in the Haight-Ashbury in the late 60s, there was a lot of homelessness and poverty. And my dad was a preschool teacher. You know, he ran the local preschool, and so he seemed to be in some ways the father of the community. And every Thanksgiving, we made dinner for the community. And I didn't really understand what that meant until one year, I believe I was 9 years old. My dad came to me and he said, we have one last $20 bill. We have to stretch it out for the rest of the month until the 1st, but I want to donate it to the Thanksgiving dinner, and I wanted to ask you what you think and talk about what that means for the next week for us. And my dad and I had this ritual every Friday. We would walk all the way to the end of Haight Street to the ice cream store. And when my dad came to me and said, I want to give our last 20, I know that he was thinking of a lot of other limitations. For me, I just thought, we're not going to have our ice cream date. And I remember being very afraid for some reason, afraid that we're not going to have any money for a whole week. And my dad looked at me and he said, I want you to know that when you give from your heart, it will always come back to you. So there's nothing to be afraid of. So that day, Thanksgiving, we were up at 5 a.m. We were making food at the local restaurant that we convinced to close down and give us their kitchen. And we worked all day and we served food and then we cleaned up. And as we were leaving the restaurant and walking down Haight Street, I remember feeling this sinking sadness. And as we were walking, I was on the right side of my dad, and his hands, I think, were huge, and he was holding my hand. And there were so many people on Haight Street walking back and forth at that time of evening. But right there in the corner, there was something crumpled up in the corner, and it was so clearly a dollar bill, some kind of, and everyone could see it. I didn't understand why, how come no one was running over to grab it? And so I worked my way free from my dad, and I grabbed this bill and I opened it, and it was a $20 bill. And I remember just being shocked. It was like magic. And I ran over to my dad and I was so excited. And I said, Dad, look. And I handed it to him, and he, without missing a beat, he just knelt down. He gave me a big hug and he said, I told you, when you give from your heart, it always comes back to you. And it's particularly poignant right now because my dad is going through so much. I'm spending, 8 to 10 hours a day with him and remembering that, this is giving from the heart. And as I'm there each day, it's hard. It's hard caring for him. It's hard feeding him. It's hard dealing with his sadness and his sorrow and suffering. But I leave and I feel so full, and I feel like it's the best way I could spend every moment is giving to him from my heart. So that's probably the most important memory of my life, and reminds me of who I am every day.